The storm outside howled with a ferocity that felt almost unnatural. The wind roared across the barren cliffs, carrying sand and shards of rock with it, hammering against my helmet like 1,000 tiny fists. My oxygen gauge blinked amber, reminding me that wandering further away from the ship wasn't wise, but shelter was my only option. That's when I saw it, a dark opening carved into the jagged cliffside. Cave. Relief surged through me. The storm on Epsilon 9 wasn't just another atmospheric disturbance. It was a planetary tantrum, the kind that could strip the paint from steel and peel flesh from bone in minutes. Without a second thought, I stumbled inside. The cave's interior swallowed me in silence, apart from the storm's distant scream echoing from the entrance. My helmet lamps flicked on, illuminating ancient rock formations. The walls shimmered faintly with mineral deposits, glittering like stars trapped in stone. I could almost forget that I was light years away from home. I moved deeper, each step crunching against the brittle ground. My mission was simple: survey the planet for any signs of water or resources that could sustain the colony fleet. But curiosity, it's always been my weakness. The cave tugged at me, as though it wasn't just a hole in the rock, but a passage into something waiting to be discovered. After a few minutes, the storm's roar had faded completely. I was surrounded by stillness. My breathing sounded louder inside my helmet, rhythmic and steady. I tapped my wrist console to check my bearings. No signal. The rock was too dense. I was officially off the network grid. And then I heard it. Voice. Don't be afraid. I've been waiting for you. Froze. My chest tightened inside the suit, and my mind instantly raced. My comm system was dead. Nobody from my crew could reach me here. The cave had shown no signs of habitation. My oxygen hissed in and out, hot against my lips. I turned slowly, scanning the walls, the shadows. Nothing. Just the faint gleam of minerals and the beam of my lamps. But the voice. It hadn't been imagined. It was clear. Human. Familiar in the strangest way. And that was impossible. Middle. I swallowed hard, gripping the pulse rifle strapped to my suit. Who's there? I demanded, my voice echoing back at me in distorted fragments. Silence. I edged deeper into the cave, driven by equal parts fear and the compulsion to understand. My lamp beams played across the walls, revealing markings I hadn't noticed before. Lines etched into stone, looping, curling, forming patterns that resembled constellations. Not random scratches. Deliberate. The voice came again, softer now, almost reassuring. You're late. My blood ran cold. Whoever or whatever this was, it wasn't guessing. It knew I was coming. I tried to steady my breathing. Show yourself. A shimmer of light flickered ahead, deep inside the cave. My instincts screamed at me to turn back, to run toward the storm and take my chances with the sand and wind. But something stronger pulled me forward. As I approached, the walls seemed to bend, as though the rock itself was alive, subtly reshaping. My suit sensors blinked with data errors. Magnetic fields, radiation bursts, fluctuations in gravity, all at once. And then I saw her. She stood in the center of a wide chamber, illuminated by a pale glow that didn't come from any source I could identify. At first glance, she looked human. A tall figure, draped in a garment that shimmered like liquid silver. Her hair flowing in waves that caught non-existent wind. Her eyes glowed faintly, but it wasn't threatening. It was like looking at the reflection of starlight on water. Who are you? I asked, pulse rifle raised. Her smile was small, almost sad. The one who has always been here. The one who remembers you. Blinked. That's not possible. We've never met. She tilted her head slightly. Not in the way you understand. Not yet. I tightened my grip on the weapon. You're speaking English. You look human. Explain. Her expression softened. She raised a hand, and suddenly the air around me shifted. My helmet flickered, then deactivated. The emergency seals dissolved, leaving me exposed. I gasped, panicking, but I was breathing perfectly. The air was breathable inside this chamber. You don't need the shell here, she said gently. This place is older than your people, older than the storm that rages outside. And you've been called here for a reason. I don't believe in destiny, I shot back. Belief is irrelevant, she replied. You're already part of it. The chamber trembled faintly, and I realized the patterns on the walls weren't just carvings. They pulsed, like veins of light, like the heartbeat of something enormous and alive. What is this place? I whispered. Her gaze locked onto mine. A memory. Sanctuary. A door. And then, before I could respond, she reached forward and touched my forehead with a single finger. The cave dissolved. I wasn't standing anymore. I was floating, suspended in a sea of stars. Galaxies swirled around me, colliding, birthing suns. I saw entire civilizations rise and fall in flashes. Beings of light, machines that stretched across planets. Wars fought not with weapons but with thoughts. And in every fragment of vision, one constant remained, her. She was there across countless ages, watching. Sometimes human, sometimes not. Sometimes a warrior, sometimes a healer. Always present. You've walked many paths, her voice echoed in my skull. You've forgotten most. But here, in this moment, you begin to remember. I clutched my head, overwhelmed. No, this isn't real. I'm an explorer. Soldier. I've never. You have, she whispered. And you will again. The visions collapsed, and I fell back into the cave, gasping. My knees hit the stone hard, sweat pouring down my face. She was still there, watching me patiently. You expect me to believe I'm part of some endless cycle? I asked, my voice shaking. Not expect, she corrected. Only to accept. Why me? Why here? Because the storm outside isn't just weather. It's a veil. It hides what sleeps beneath this planet. Something that should never wake. And only one bound to memory can stop it. My skin crawled. Stop what? The chamber pulsed harder, like a warning heartbeat. Cracks of light split through the stone floor. A low rumble echoed from the depths below. She stepped closer, her glowing eyes unwavering. The ancient hunger. The first shadow. It knows you're here now. And it will come. Climax. The ground split with a thunderous crack. From the fissure below, darkness poured upward. Not just absence of light, but a living shadow, writhing and twisting. My suit alarms screamed as the air temperature plummeted. I raised my rifle and fired. Bolts of plasma tore into the mass, but they fizzled uselessly, swallowed whole. The shadow surged higher, forming grotesque shapes. Arms, claws, faces that screamed in silence. What the hell is that? Shouted. Her voice was calm, steady, even as the chamber shook. The thing your ancestors fled from when the stars were young. The reason sanctuaries like this were built. And now it wants you. Me. Why me? Because you carry the fragment, she said, her hand pressing over my chest. A piece of light it cannot consume. That is why you were drawn here. That is why I have waited. The shadow lunged. Instinctively, I raised my arms, but she stepped forward instead, placing herself between me and the darkness. Her silver form blazed with sudden brilliance.